started.
Yes, please.
So, hi everybody. If you're new to my channel, this is Serve Your Life, and SERF stands for Stop, Evaluate, Reassess, and Follow Through with Your Life. Tonight is Convos with Carrie. So, Convos with Carrie happens every Thursday evening from 8:30 to 9:30. And on the last Thursday of every month, my platform opens up to Black owned business night. And what that is about is letting Black owned businesses come on and share their entrepreneurial journey. So they tell you the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the uglies, and they drop their gems as to how you to get started, or trying to help you to not make the mistakes that they made. So if you are a Black owned business, I'm looking for male. So I'm so happy to see that I have one male tonight. But I'm looking for all Black owned businesses. If that's you and you would like to come on every Thursday, last Thursday of the month, please DM me and we can get this started. And tonight we have two amazing special guests. And I am so excited to hear about their business and for them to tell you about their entrepreneurial journey. So before I get started, let them introduce themselves, and I'm going to ask them one question as they can answer it before we get into the conversation. So my first question is, before you introduce yourself, tell me one interesting fact about you that somebody may not know or everybody may not know.
Okay, I'll start first.
Ladies first.
Oh, okay. That's even okay. That's better. Doesn't put the spotlight on me then.
Something that they may not know.
Rob, do you want to go back a little bit? You're really close to the camera.
Is that better?
Yes, that's good. They can see your beautiful face. Better.
Okay.
Okay. What? I'm a grandma of two,
Okay.
mother
That's
of three.
love it. You don't look like you look like a glamma, but not a grandma, but a glamma. How about you, Rob?
I guess when most people don't know me, I also started my own clothing line, so this is Rob's Health and
We're
Fitness.
not talking about business.
Oh,
One
not
interesting
business?
fact about you.
Sorry. One interesting fact about me, I was the mascot for Toronto Shooting Stars for the second season.
See, well, look at that.
Yeah, so a friend of mine, he was a well-known dancer back in the day for Sean Paul. And he's in a lot of his music videos. I can't remember any of them on top of my head, but yeah. So he knows good connections and asked me, if I wanted to do it. I'm like, sure. I needed the money anyways, right? So I'm like, okay, why not? I know how to be entertaining. I work with kids, so it's a little stress. It was a little stressful because I don't know nothing about dancing, and you know what? I just told go out there, have fun, be entertaining, just hype, just be hype, just get the crowd engaged. So that was fun.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you were
How long
frozen.
did you do that? Oh, okay. How long did you do that for?
Just for the season. It was just for the season, so it was like a couple months. So
Did you like it? Was it fun?
it has its challenges because yeah, it's fun. Yeah, the pay is good, but also it's hot. It's very, very hot in the costume, and you start to sweat a lot. Like within 10, 15 minutes, you're gonna start sweating a lot.
So it's like a good workout, like a sauna, like a sweat bath.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rob.
I was gonna say they do have a little bitty air conditioning inside the helmet, so that was a plus.
Okay, but it wasn't doing much work, is what you're saying.
No, it wasn't. No.
Okay, well, let's see. Interesting fact. Sometimes we don't even know, like we don't even big up ourselves at what interesting things that we do. So I like to ask that question so that, people can look at what they do. So interesting. May not be interesting to you, but it's very interesting to me. So go ahead. So now you can go into telling me about your business, how you got started, what's the name of your business. Now you can go into it. So if you want to start or Adesuwa could start, you guys decide.
You can go ahead.
Okay, well, my brand is called Rob's Health and Fitness. I don't know if you can see it right here. So this is my logo. So I pretty much started everything during the pandemic. I graduated from Centennial College, Progress Campus. So I took fitness and health promotion, and I was in my last semester when the pandemic hit. So I was like, okay, so I have two choices, finish up my certification, my certificate, and start doing personal training, or just find a regular job. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna finish finish up my certification and then just do personal training. So I started out just training people for free in the park. Like I'd go to a local park in Scarborough and just train with friends. We get an audience. Sometimes we just tell people this is what we're doing. We're just having fun. And then slowly I started, okay, so let me see how I can take it a little further. So I started incorporating martial arts because I have a background in Muay Thai and boxing and kickboxing. So I was like, okay, let me see how I can incorporate that into my business, right? So then over the years, you start learning and start building, and pretty much now, I co-own a gym in Scarborough with a friend of mine. So that's called Relentless Boxing. That's by Warden and Eglinton. This past weekend, Saturday, we had our grand opening. So, it was great. And you know what? The journey it's been amazing. There's a lot of ups and downs, and you know what? And I just reflecting on it, like how far I've come now, is that it's it's a challenge. And you know what? You have to be persistent when you're doing something like this, right? Because again, entrepreneurship and personal training is not easy, right? But again, just persistency. That's just what it's about. So
Okay.
that,
Thank
yeah,
you. And so congratulations on your new gym. It sounds so
thank you. Thank
interesting.
you.
I love to see. I'm sorry it's in Scarborough so far away from me, but you know what? I'll definitely, try to make my way up there because I
Absolutely.
always wanted to try kickboxing. So, now I know. So, okay. Um,
Absolutely, yeah. The
yeah.
first class is on me, so you don't
Okay.
gotta worry
All
about it.
right. So I'll definitely come up. Maybe I'll gather some. We're going to try to see if we can gather a few people and come out. So I love that. I love that. So Adesuwa, go ahead.
Yes, so my name is Adesuwa Joe, and I'm the founder and visionary of a cultural boutique by the name of Impressing. And we have all authentically handmade items that I purvey straight from Africa or the motherland.
Amazing. So how long have you been in business, Adesuwa? Like, how did that start? How did your business start? Like, how do we get to you now going to the motherland and bringing up
Okay,
some beautiful pieces? How did
thank
that
you,
all
thank you.
happen as
So I,
grandma, and
yes,
also mother, and also all of the things that you were already doing? How did we get
correct.
here?
Okay, so I started in 2020 during the pandemic with perpetual calendars that were aimed to motivate people. And a little shift had to take place. It wasn't a good situation where I was. I was doing it out of the Pickering flea market. So I had to pivot and change. So I took a break about 6 to 8 months and then figured, let me do something that I am actually in control of, because I wasn't in control of printing or anything. I was the face of the calendar, but that was it. So I decided, let me pivot, do something I love, which I love to travel. And on top of that, it was researching my DNA. So I did my DNA, found out my makeup, where I'm from, and just started traveling. So I went to Nigeria twice, Ghana 3 times, and decided, let me start bringing back the beauty and, most importantly, the work of the artisans. I'm trying to leave a global footprint so that they're able to see what they have to offer. In other words, the world, what the artisans have to offer.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So is it, so you traveled to Nigeria and Ghana?
So lately it's been mainly Ghana. I started off in Nigeria with my first trip going to a royal wedding. And
Okay.
so I have stuff from Nigeria, Ghana. I used to have stuff from Nairobi, Kenya. But specific pieces I pick up and I actually go and meet the artisans and stuff like that. It makes it more one-on-one. And then
Mhm.
I know that they're authentic and that they're handmade and not machine made.
Yeah.
Because what really started the journey is I bought a beautiful dress, which I thought was African. It had an African print, had a really nice label on the inside, but I always wash clothes before I wear them. And when I turned it inside out, at the very bottom, like this small, was made in China. So I won't call out the person in Toronto that did that, but I was really upset because they were branding it as their own, but it was made in China, which to me is not acceptable. So I ensure that I lay hands and eyes on everything. I know exactly where it's coming from. Everything is ethically sourced, so I can stand behind it and say, yes, it is authentic, it is original.
Nice. I love that. I really, and it's so like, isn't everything made in China now? But yeah, I definitely love the fact that you are
Yes,
on it. So it's like a one of a kind kind of experience for somebody to get a piece from you because you are
correct.
actually going and curating those things and bringing them up here, for us to. So yeah, I love that. Oh yeah, Tara
Yes.
says she needs one of those bands. Where the bands at?
Yeah.
Where the bands at? That's
Okay,
what somebody should have done
yeah,
with your friends too.
it's coming. It's coming. A couple of my people are telling me they're not seeing me like on my own live.
What?
Yeah, I messaged someone and they're like they're not seeing me.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Send it directly to them.
I
Send.
did. I sent it out through a story this morning and I just asked them, can you see me live? And she says it
Mm.
doesn't show that I am pressing am live.
Okay.
I
See, again,
came on to yours, but that's okay. It's okay.
it may be too because again, this one's a new Instagram page, so I may
Okay.
not have all my features yet. So we'll see. We'll
Okay. No
go back
problem.
and forth and see how
Yes.
that helps. But
Okay.
definitely that is so. And Rob, what about you? How long have you been in business? Did you say that already? Did I miss that piece?
No, I didn't. I'm trying to think. I'd say since 2019, I've been in business.
With the
Yeah, around.
or with
Yeah,
the fitness?
yeah, with my fitness because trying to think. So I guess like when the pandemic started, like that's when I started to take things more seriously. I started like actually start up my business and start actually training people.
Yes.
You know. Yeah, so I'd say yeah the pandemic 2019. So
And what
yeah.
now? That's what gave us a little bit of background as to, and I think you gave us a little bit of background as to why your whys. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on your why? Like, why are you doing? Why is this your business of choice? What makes you keep going? Because we know the economy is ridiculous right now, and prices of everything is ridiculous. So I don't even know if people are taking those. I know fitness is a part of their lifestyle, but you know what I mean? Like if it's
Mhm.
fitness or food, what's somebody going to choose? You know what I mean? Fitness or gas, what's somebody going to choose? Or a
Mhm.
beautiful piece. I love that sweater you're wearing, or making sure that their family is fed. So how are you finding business happening right now in regards to this environment?
Well, I find business is, it's good. There's good and bad to business. Like I find, I found like some challenges. It was a little bit slow when I started off, because again, I had no idea about marketing. I had no idea what I was really doing. I just started recording videos and then just posting them, right? Again, I had no direction. I had no guidance. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I just thought, okay, let me just do something, right? And then let me try something. And I started to record. I think I started finding success when I started recording more of like my martial arts videos, like videos of me like training with other people, or if I was just doing some sparring or just like kind of like play fighting. Okay, I started seeing, okay, those type of videos started to get a little bit more traction. So okay, let me record more of this type of content, right? So that's where I started seeing my success. I'm like, okay, so let me see if I can do more of this, like more of the martial arts, right? And then like I started doing videos of me just doing like bag work, or started doing videos of me just explaining like basic exercises, or all kind of stuff, right? So again, that's what I had trouble, right? Just trying to find clients, right? But and then once I started finding clients, right? They start to see that they start to see the progress, and then eventually people just started coming, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
And why did you choose to do martial arts? Like, what was happening, and why didn't you go like the other fitness route of just going to a gym and just teaching people how to use equipment and stuff? Why did you choose martial arts?
Well, I've always loved martial arts as a kid, right? I have four brothers and one sister, so like we always grew up watching like the Jackie Chan movies, like
Yeah.
big fan of Bruce Lee, Jet Li, all the the Chinese actors. I'm big fan. I love those old fashioned kung fu movies, right? That's just something we grew up on, right? That's something we watched as kids, like even like watching, anime or playing like video games, like my specialty was always the fighting games. Those are the games I found I was like, more intrigued. Those are the games I was good at. So again, I've always loved martial arts as a kid, right? And I started off doing karate, me and my brothers, and then we did that a few years, then we stopped. And then like I think a couple years after high school, a friend of mine invited me to the gym, right? Asking if I wanted to try out a Muay Thai class. I'm like, absolutely. Since then I fell in love with it. I'm like, okay. So now I'm at the point where it's like I'm able to teach myself, more advanced stuff where I'm able to train someone else, right? And then now I just realized, okay, so now I want to take this seriously. I want to get my certifications, right? So then just getting a couple certifications in like kickboxing and boxing, right? And I was like, okay, so I want to start building on this, right? I want to get more certifications as I can, right? Because again, right, this is my passion. This is what I love, right? So again, that's what it was for me. Is just like once you find something you love, you just stick to it, right? And like the more you want to explore, the more you want deeper knowledge and understanding of it, right? So that's what it was with me for martial arts.
Okay, I mean, that's you. It sounds like you just tapped into all the different areas of martial arts that you really enjoy and just putting it into practice. So
Yeah.
that's great. What about you, Adesuwa? What, like I know you said that you had that experience and that's but what makes you continue to do it? What makes you, go through the trenches and go through the ups and the downs? And, is it your why? What, why?
My why. Just attaching people culturally. There's also a spiritual part of it, and a lot of the times what I'm purveying or curating and bringing back to Canada, so to speak, is something specific that someone either has seen or has visioned. And so I try my hardest to go. And because everything has such a major story behind it, it is the satisfaction of knowing somebody wanted something, I got it. And then seeing it in their home or on them is what gives me pleasure that, hey, somebody has been made happy because of something I was able to do.
Nice, nice. And I just love the aspect of your business that you're giving, the African diaspora their glory, and actually getting it from the hands of the people who deserve, the recognition, you know what I mean? So I love that. And I
Thank
just love about your business, Rob, is that, you are offering this service and you now have your own gym that you can utilize that with because we need to we love to do something, but it's even nicer for me when we actually have our own, you know what I
our
mean?
home.
And
Yes.
we're able to
Absolutely.
offer it, like you said, you're a free lesson for you. You're able to do that. You don't have to go and, ask permission or figure things out or, you know what I mean? So I just love like the entrepreneurial spirit and that we're actually doing things for ourselves. So yeah, that's really great. So tell me like if there was like what challenges did you have, or is there a challenge that you just recently have, or just what challenges have you had to really make this a business? And how did you overcome these challenges?
Hmm.
Mm.
Well, let Adesuwa go with this one.
Okay. So I guess the main challenge was putting it on pen and paper, what was in here, and then saying, I'm going to start something cultural. It started off as a gift shop, but then because I don't have a brick and mortar, it's a little bit harder. Everything is online, so I have to depend sometimes on doing pop ups. But because of the caliber of my stuff, I can't just go into any nook and cranny. I want to have it done specifically so people are able to touch, feel, and get the one on one with me. So that's been part of it. And then also naysayers like, no, there's no way you can do this. Having a black gift shop is never going to happen. And so I transitioned from the word gift shop to cultural boutique
Mhm.
because of the caliber of the stuff that I'm getting. They're not knockoffs and stuff. So that's been the challenge. But anything that is a challenge, I just twist it around and say, how can I make this a positive? So um, I also have to depend on things coming into the country if I'm not the one actually traveling out. So with Canada Post going on strike, then that would be a challenge for me. Like, so when they did go on strike, like before Christmas, that posed a bit of a challenge. But because I knew about it ahead of time, I just had to pre-order. Now that they're currently on strike, but they're just not working overtime, again, you just have to prepare. So you always, if you're going to do A or B, always prepare for C, D, and E just in case, you know what I mean? So I ordered something last week because I'm going to be at an event, Afrofest, in the next weekend, and I had to order and make sure that it was done, and I actually got the box today. So it was like it took a week and 3 days
Okay.
from the motherland through regular post. So the thing is, you just have to prepare so that you don't have any, I guess, mishaps or anything.
So preparation is your and always having a backup and backup and backup plans.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you have to when you're relying on others and it's global, it's somewhere else. It's not the US or down the street.
And I love the fact that you said that you changed the name to a boutique because of the caliber and the amount of effort and energy that you're putting in behind it. It is not a gift shop in a sense. So I
Right.
love the fact that we can just pivot and we can just make these changes and understand our worth. So I think that's great. And Rob, what about you?
Mm. That's a good question. I'd say one of the biggest challenges I've had in the past was I'd say just trying to find gyms, because again, once the pandemic was kind of over, like my challenge was like, applying to gyms, just trying to, become a personal trainer. Well, I shouldn't say become, right? Just trying to work there as a personal trainer is like you go to Good Life, you go to Lifetime, you go to LA Fitness, you go to all these gyms, you just try to get a shot, and then it's like, no luck, right? And they're looking for someone more experienced, but it's like, how do you gain experience if you're not gonna give me a chance,
Correct.
Yeah.
right? And that was the hard part I found is like, a lot of these gyms, they want, trainers with like, a lot of experience, but again, it wasn't easy, but then eventually I found a gym and then just to help build up my experience. And then once that gym closed down, uh, I had another challenge to try to find another gym to to work out of, right? That it was just, again, just trying to just be consistent, right? Just trying to figure out different ways. I'm like, okay, so if I can't get a job at a gym, right? I know I'm a good trainer. I know I have a good resume and whatnot. Why don't I just partner with someone to open up my own gym? And that's basically, you know, what me and my friend decided to do,
So it's
right?
like,
So
yeah, you pivoted. You're like, listen, this is not working for me, so why don't we do it for ourselves instead of always trying to, get our foot in the door somewhere else? And I think that is what we don't do often is take those risks and bet on ourselves, because what you have done by opening up your gym with your partner is betting on yourselves and knowing that your work and your it will stand for itself, and you don't have to go through these big names in order for you to have a piece of the pie. So I love that. I love that. So Adesuwa's message to you is to always have more than one way of doing things, and to also, take the challenges and spin them so they're not challenges. They're just learning experiences. And the same for you. Your messages are very similar in a sense. And Rob is just created for yourself if you're not able to do it on your own. So if you did, for both of you, the question is, if you could speak to young Adesawa and young Rob that are just starting out, either young entrepreneur you or just young, what would you give? What message or what thought would you give that your young self to bring forward to your life now, your current life now?
that's a good one. Uh, I guess I would just tell myself, just don't quit. Just keep doing it. Keep doing what you love, right? Don't worry about the distractions. Just focus, right? Again, like you have a goal. If you believe in yourself, right? If you have faith in yourself, just continue to believe in yourself and your brand, and the work will show. Put in the work and the work will show, right? One thing one of my boxing coach always tells me is, right, you have to imagine that you're already there. Whatever you're trying to achieve, you're already there. You just have to work backwards. And that's what it said. That's what he told me. He's like, I already know you're a good trader. He's like, I just look at you, I could already tell. He's right. And this was like the first day he met me. He's like, I already know you're a good trader. It's like, you just have to work backwards, right? You just have to let everyone else see the work that you already accomplished, right? And that was it. He's like, just write the steps down. And that's my best advice I tell him, right? You're already at where you need to be. You are already are where you need to be, right? You just have to work backwards, right? Just one step at a time.
Yeah, to get that consistency going, to get
Absolutely.
what you want in order to stay at where you're at, or exceed where you're at. So I love that. I like the working backwards perspective. Right. You, Adesawa?
And for me, it would be what I would tell my younger self is just do it. No hesitation, because I hesitated a lot and I listened to the noise. So I was listening to people, oh, that's not going to be possible. Oh, that's ridiculous. Or, oh, that's really good, but then they're not really helpful. But if I had actually, when I had that passion, if I had started it then and not have been like walking on eggshells, I may or may not have been further ahead, so to speak. you'll
Mhm.
never know. But I would have definitely just, I would have said to myself, just start. And if you fail, don't consider it a failure. Just look at it and say, what can I do differently next time? Because
Nice.
whatever we do and we don't succeed, don't look at it as failure, right?
Yeah, look at it as I've learned, and I'm not, I can do better, and I can help teach
Correct.
somebody to get
Yeah.
out of that. So yeah, I think that's how, yeah, I looked at it too when I'm like I started. I was like, I was listening to naysayers. I was like, this just seems so much. I'm later on in life and I'm trying to start this now. I wish somebody would have told me earlier in life. I would have had much more energy and much more, I also would have had much more on my plate because my kids would have been younger if I started younger, and that
Correct.
would be another challenge. So I definitely love just going into it and just going for it and not listening to people's negativity around it, you know what I mean, or people's voices, but making your voice be the loudest one in your ear. Love that. So tell me a little bit more about what would you tell, what sort of things would you give to new up and coming or even entrepreneurs now, like what kind of tidbits would you give them to help them to not have to make these mistakes that you have made, or I mean, help them to learn a little bit faster maybe.
Well, I would definitely say ensure that you have, whether you call it a village, a tribe, a community, you need to be with like minded people because sometimes what we do is we tend to gravitate towards people we are comfortable with. But comfortable may not necessarily mean business minded. So you will have people that but because they're not really going in the same direction as you, that's what I mean by the noise. It isn't always negative. It's just that they may not be speaking the same language as you. So you need to be around people who speak the same language, have the same ideology, and most importantly, it's okay to be with other people that may be in the exact same, well, I don't want to use exact same, that might be in the same field as you, right? You guys could actually be doing the exact same thing. Don't look at the person as competition because what sets you apart from that other person is going to be your personality, how you communicate, right? So instead of looking at them as competition, why don't you collaborate and you guys could easily snowball and become bigger? So that would be one of the main things I would say.
What do you think about, like, what, give me a little bit more about that, like not looking at it as competition. Do you think that competition is necessary? And if they were doing the exact same thing, how would you stand out?
Okay, so again, if there was somebody doing the exact same thing, carrying the exact same products as me, again, it would be how I deliver it. It would be personality. And that's why I say don't look at somebody that's doing the exact same thing or similar as competition. People tend to then look at that and they start getting upset and, oh my gosh, she's carrying the same thing as me, or he's doing what I'm doing. Like, look at McDonald's, there's Harvey's. They're both burgers, but what sets them apart? There's going to be a special ingredient. Um, the way how they advertise. You just have to be very innovative and think of something different, right? If everybody does one, two, and three, don't do one, two, and three. Go do number seven. Something that people will say, oh my gosh, I remember Adesuwa, or oh my gosh, I remember so and so, right? So, but we just have to change the mindset and do more collaborations, even if it's not collaborating together, just kind of bouncing ideas off of one another, especially as Black businesses. We need to come together,
Yeah.
right? There's more than enough to go around for everybody. And when we get rid of that that mindset that, oh, it's all for me, it's all for me. Once we get rid of that, you'll see how much further we can go as a community.
I so agree with that because I'm going to tell you a little story before we get to Rob's thoughts as well. So I don't sell products, but my sister has a business and she sells like oils and jewelry and like some of them are handmade and some of them. So they're very things. So I went to help her at a pop-up event and there was another ladies table and it was a black I think it was a black event, but it was a lot more black. Even if it wasn't a black event, it was a lot of black pop-up people or vendors. That's what they're
Vendors, yeah.
pop-up people. Ah, that was a good one. But vendors. And
Yes.
so I was walking, I was just, just doing my rounds after I helped her set up, walking around, seeing what everybody had. And I had seen, and this vendor then came over to my sister's table and was like, "Where'd you get that?" Because she was actually selling the same thing, like very same, like necklace with the islands on it, the different flags on it.
Yes.
So
Okay.
like, oh, where'd you get that? That's not da da da. It started like nitpicking my
Oh,
sister's
wow. Yeah.
and then walked over. But little did she know, I saw her at another event before this one, and
Yeah.
I bought like 3 pieces from her, eh? But you see, when, like you said, her going that little bit beyond is
Yes.
big. If she had recognized that I bought something from her, maybe
Yes.
she wouldn't have acted like that. And also, too, there is no taking from each other. You have your own thing, she has her own thing, even if it's the same. It is what you're getting from it. So when I see her now,
Yeah.
I don't buy anything from
No.
her. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I don't refer her. I pass her table and I don't even say anything. And she probably doesn't even know she did this because again, she didn't know who I was and she didn't remember buying
Yes.
those 3 pieces. And she also didn't care to get to know my sister or myself before she went on in on us. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I love that. And I think, yes, it is your personality that makes me remember because there is this one lady I saw at a pop-up and she was selling uh the makeup from America, the black makeup that only America has. I can't
Okay.
remember the name of it, but I bought a few things from her. Every
Yes.
time I see her at another thing, because she was so great at the one
Yes.
that I bought I go and find her and I buy something, even though I don't need any more makeup people because I am a makeup person. I go and buy something from
Yes.
her because of the impression that she left on me. So I
Correct.
definitely love that. It's not competition. It is about how you present yourself, what you do for your clients, and how you represent your business in the long run. So
And
yeah,
how
go
you make
Rob.
them feel as well.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
That feeling is what makes me, if I see you somewhere, makes me want to spend my money that I don't necessarily need to spend, but I want to, support. So, Rob, you go ahead. Sorry for the long. I just
No, no worries, no worries.
wanted to give you that example, that leading example that business owners, we need to do better. Go ahead.
Yeah, so as you're saying, like just being creative and innovative, and that's always been one of my things. Just try to have a creative mind, I'm trying to do something different, right? Because like again, in my line of work, right, like there's a lot of gyms, hundreds of gyms that teach martial arts, and a lot of these guys a lot of these men and women, they consider themselves trainers, right, with no certifications, right? But even though they have an extensive background in martial arts, right? So they're coaches, striking coaches, whatever they want to call themselves, right? But
Mhm.
technically, they don't have any certifications, right? And my thing is that okay, even with certification, nothing right really separates me from them. So how can I separate myself from them, right? So one of the things I did during the pandemic was, I partnered with a nonprofit organization, right, and I was teaching young black men like martial arts, right? So I'd even go to youth shelters, go to juvenile detention centers, right?
Mhm.
And then just do programming with these guys and then just talk to them, and then just try to reason with them. And that was it. Just be their friend. They're just looking for someone, to help them out.
Yeah.
And that's what I found, right? Just even for martial arts alone, it can help improve your mental and your well-being and your physical well-being. So I'm like, okay, so I can do that, right? And I decided, okay, I want to branch out. I want to separate myself because I don't see a lot of other martial artists doing that or a lot of personal trainers doing what I'm doing, right? And I started going to a lot of networking events, and that helped me out a lot, right? And then just like collaborations,
Yeah.
and also, right, it's like, okay, so now I want to go on more of a corporate side. So like, how can I, start working with like high profile clients, right? Because I see a lot of gyms downtown, right? They have a lot of trainers, but they don't essentially know what they're doing, right? And they're charging like a lot of money for a training session. So I'm like, okay, so what if I started my own corporate fitness, or what if I partner with friends that we can help each other, work with a lot of these high profile clients, like a corporate fitness program, right? Why don't we partner with like, corporations downtown Toronto and, let's work on something, right? So that's actually something I'm starting off doing, right? So that's, still in the works. But that's one of the biggest things that separate you, right? Like just try to find ways to be innovative or just collaborating, right? And then just kind of see what's out there, right? And then just do something different.
Yeah, I definitely love the collaboration part because yes, I definitely feel that collaboration is the key. I'm not, and I love the networking events as well. And it's just figuring out what is where you fit in, or even if you don't fit in, but where you can stand out, So going to these places and making sure that you always greet people, or you always have a smile, or you have your, like our coach will say, have your brand colors ready, anywhere you go, have your brand colors ready. So it's just, making sure that you have, like you said, something that makes you stand out and something that you are ready to change or you're ready to pivot and do differently. So I love that. And it looks like, I think you will be amazing with the corporate. I think also, too, it would be a great thing to look at getting into, like keeping that going with working with young people who want that because it's a great mental health, like it's great for your mental health, and having that self-esteem. It's good for your self-esteem, and also just a different way of doing things. Like you don't always have to put your kids into basketball or football, or you know what I mean, the tradition. You can do something different. So definitely, if you were closer, I would definitely want my boys to try a kickboxing class, and I probably will bring them when I go and try your class. So I think it's great to do corporate, but also still focus on youth as well, because I think having young people do more of this will
Yeah.
help them with their mental health, help them with their longevity, help them with their self-esteem. And that's what I work on, you know what I mean? In my business is, working with young people and helping them change their behavior. And yeah, physical activity is a great one. So I think that's a great idea. And I love the corporate idea as well. Um, is there anything else that you guys want to share about your business? Let me ask you this question, Rob. If I was somebody who's never worked out, I don't work out, I've never worked out, and I want to try kickboxing, do you think that that's something that I should go into first? Or is there like something that I should start first and then make my way up to kickboxing? Or do you feel like kickboxing is for any stage in your workout stage?
Absolutely. And that's the thing, right? That's the beauty of martial arts, right? Uh, anyone at any level can start, right? My business partner, his name's Ron, right? So he works with a lot of seniors, right? And some of them have, Parkinson's, dementia, whatever it is, right? And just working with them just slowly, right? Just trying to show them how to properly throw a punch, right? Or even properly trying to show them how to like kick the bag, right? you can see amazing progress from when they started till now, right? And that's the thing, right? Again, the beauty of martial arts, it's a full body workout. So, right, so taking your body through various movements, it will help you, it helps improve your overall, your physical and your mental well-being, right? Because again, we're not meant to be lazy people. We're meant to be active. We're meant to be fit, right? So again, fitness is for everyone, right? And everybody, right? So that's the beauty of martial arts. It's for anyone and whoever wants to learn. Doesn't matter the age, right? So again, whatever you identify as or whatever you consider yourself as, it's for everyone.
Yeah. And what is the age group that you start at your gym, like that can come to your gym?
We do all ages, all ages. So
Oh,
we have beginners, we have intermediates, we have like several, like, yeah, we have several fighters at our gym, right?
no.
So again,
So can a 6-year-old come and try?
absolutely, absolutely. I'm trying to remember. I had one video where we recorded like this little girl. I think she was like around 6 or 7 years old. And the way she was hitting the pads is like you would think like she was like Layla Ali or something. I'm like, she was good. She was good. And it was like a lengthy combo. And like we recorded it. I was like, this little girl, she's gonna be dangerous like one day. I'm like, if she continues. And again, that's just the beauty of boxing or just martial arts in general. It doesn't matter what age you start off, right? It's just like trying something new. The more you work at it, just building. Like the more you work, the slow, like start off slow, then you work your way fast. It's amazing. I'll tell
So
you a little bit something. Like even for me, like I learned at a slower rate than other people, right? So even when I started learning martial arts, it took me like a long time. It took me like years to understand the basics, right? And then it's just like again, you got to start slow, right? Because again, everybody learns differently, right? So for me, I had to find different ways. Okay, how can I stay focused? How can I, not be frustrated? How can I properly educate myself? Listen to what the instructor is saying, right? Because again, oftentimes we don't understand certain terminology, what the instructor may say, right? And that's the way I teach. I break things down like very simply, right? So I'm teaching you how to properly throw a punch in the proper stance, right? And how you turn, how you properly position yourself, right? How you throw the kick, right? The proper angle, the direction. So all of that, I try to make everything very relatable and break things down very simply for people to understand, right? Because again, a lot of people learn at different rates.
mhm,
So that's just how a little bit of how I teach and how I learn.
nice. And are you're teaching them how like competitions and stuff? You train them to become like
I'm
like the
sorry.
ultimate fighter kind of thing?
Yeah, well we have like an advanced class that's like, for we have like several boxers, that do like amateurs, that been in like competitions or have done like fights already. Right, but
Nice.
that's for people that who want to do that, right? So we don't just focus on that. So we
Mhm.
focus on overall fitness.
Okay, overall fitness. And what would you say you need, like how many days a week if you were wanting to do this, would you have to dedicate to seeing some sort of some change in your body?
I'd say at least twice a week. You want to start if you're a beginner, like once or twice a week, like you'll start to see. But it takes at least like 6 to 8 months for you to start to see progress, right? Like you're like a substantial amount of progress. And that's the thing. Again, for some people, that's just the average person. For some people, it might take less time, but
Okay.
usually it's about 8 months.
Great. And Adesuwa, for you and your business, tell us a little bit about how we can, if we wanted to can you show us like those beautiful fans that we were talking about earlier? Just show us
Okay.
a few, and then just let us know how somebody, or if I was to order something, how long would it take to come to me? Is there, because we do know about the postal strike,
Yeah.
or, you have things on hand. You did say that you were going to be at Afrofest. Tell
Yeah.
them more about that. So go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, so with my cultural boutique, I have artwork. So, for an example, stuff like that, that's on the wall. I don't know if you guys can see the ankh there. I have men's jewelry. I have women's jewelry. I have hand fans. I have the snapping fans that are coming out, the one that's in the videos. I just had those made. So they came in from Ghana with the African material. And then I'll be launching something new in the next month or two. But you can find me on the regular on the website, which is impressing.com, on all social media platforms except for Twitter, same thing. And everything is basically online, but I will be at AfroFest July 4th, 5th, and 6th. Myself and some other entrepreneurs will be sharing a booth, so we'll be there.
So
And
come and
then
check it out. Come and find her.
yes, yes. I can't remember the booth number, but I will be posting it shortly. And then I'll show you one or two fans, but I don't have the snapping ones because they're in the box. I have to do the unboxing. So just give me one quick second.
That's so great. I know a lot of people will love the Snap fans because that song, everybody's going to want to be doing that. But those fans are beautiful. I think I'd like two of them.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Me too.
this is just a few. I did a menopause video that dropped today, just talking about the fans. So they're in different colors. I do special orders if you want a special one, like in your brand colors. But they are made from real leather and Ankara material and real leather straps. So these are just a few. I'm actually doing inventory right now, which I don't like doing, but I'm doing that now to get prepared. And that's about it for now.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to see all the Afrofest and what's happening and all the things that the vendors that are going to be there. And Rob, thank you so much. If there's one gem that you want to leave with our entrepreneurs, because we're wrapping up tonight, what would it be?
Uh, I'd say if whatever you're doing, just believe in yourself. I'll just keep it simple as that. Just believe in yourself, believe in whatever you're doing, right? Again, just believe in your brand, yourself, and whatever it is. It's the journey is never going to be easy, right? Whatever you do, entrepreneurship is never going to be easy, right? You're going to struggle, and there's beauty in the struggle. So again, just believe in yourself.
Adesuwa?
Okay. Well, like everyone says, and it's really true, consistency is key. But for myself, where I find I've been successful is just being intentional, but most importantly, authentic. So if you see me here on screen and you see me on the road, I'm going to be the exact same person. I strongly believe in personality is the key to anything. So as long as you're your authentic self, everything else just falls into place with hard work, of course, but authenticity matters.
Love it. Tara is saying, amen to beauty in the struggle. I see lots of hearts. Thank you guys. If you have any questions before we wrap up, I totally forgot to give the audience some question time. But if there is any questions that you guys have for our entrepreneurs, then please feel free to DM them, follow them, and ask your questions. Yes, indeed it does. So thank you guys so much, Rob. I so appreciate you because Rob
No
just jumped on
problem.
by, and this is, I think, his first live.
There
Instagram
is.
use it very often, but he did a great job in regards to getting on. It was Instagram giving us problems, and Odessa was a little bit, but she knew it was me. So there's no nerves needing to happen when it's me. But thank you guys so much. I so appreciate
Thank
you
you for
coming,
having.
upping your gems and sharing your journey. I wish you your business nothing but blessings and prosperity and just continued success in your journeys. And again, if you are a Black-owned entrepreneur who is Black-owned, I'm looking for males, but I love everybody else. You're welcome. If you would like to have your time here on Convos with Carrie, DM me. I'm a DM away. I'm going to respond to you and I'm going to get you booked on here for you to share your entrepreneur journey. So again, good night. Thank you guys so much again for
That's
coming.
it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take care. And Rob, I'm going to keep me to it, so I want to come and do one.
I will.
So
I'll keep
We
you
should go
accountable.
together, Carrie. Let's go together.
Let's
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 do
do it. Let's
that.
put up a day and time, and we'll get it done. You'll get a good workout in.
We're going to do it. Since Adesuwa has volunteered to come, we're going to do it. We're going to make it happen.